It's time once again to slip into your camo, grab your bow, and join us out in the field for another episode of the Up North Journal, presented by PSE Archery. The Up North Journal crew is knocked and ready to rock for another exciting adventure. So let's step outside and hit the trail.
This episode of the Up North Journal podcast is brought to you by PSE Archery,
Black Eagle Arrows,
Scent Blocker,
Killer Food Plots,
Cabela's,
Spot Shooters,
Antler Action,
Family Traditions Tree Stands,
Tom's Custom Turkey Calls,
and Badass Slingshots.
Welcome back to another episode of the Up North Journal podcast, everybody. I'm host Mike Adams, sitting in the cabin tonight, back from a fresh trip from Ohio, unexpectedly, and I'm sitting here with Dan DeFall.
Got some food in you? Got a shower?
Got a shower, got food in me, you brought me a drink.
It's all good, right?
And we got a special guest tonight.
We do have a special guest. Matter of fact, live on the phone from Ohio, the one and only Mara Doherty.
Hey, Mara.
Hey, guys.
What's going on?
Oh, just getting prepped for deer season down here. It's coming quick.
It is coming quick. Actually, yours starts the 24th, I believe, of September?
The 30th.
The 30th. Okay, it's been... It moves around.
Yeah, it's the last Saturday in September, right?
Yeah, so it kind of changes a little bit every year.
Gotcha. Okay, right on.
All right, excellent. So you are almost just a little over a month away from your deer season.
Yes, and I am very behind schedule this year with shooting my bow. So I special ordered a sight and a rest, and it took a really long time to get here. Last week my rest finally came, and yesterday even my sight came. So I am ready to contact Dan Yasa and get that bow all set up and start shooting it. So I can't wait. I can't believe I'm like going crazy that I haven't shot that bow yet. So I'm stoked.
That's like getting a Christmas present and not being able to open it for 6 months.
Right?
Exactly.
just set it there.
Exactly. I mean, I at least got my draw length and stuff adjusted at home, because I was just itching so bad to touch that bow. But now that I have my sight and rest, it's time to mount that and get a D-loop tied on there, and I will be good to go.
All right.
Excellent. And Dan Yasa, if you're listening, beware the call.
You're getting a call.
Yeah.
Well, kind of run down what you're shooting this year, what your bow, how it's set up, all the equipment you're putting on it, and arrows and everything. What are you going to roll out in the woods with this year?
This year, I'm debating on whether to switch my arrows to the zombie slayers or stay with the ones I was shooting last year. I'm blanking on the name.
Outlaws.
Oh, the Outlaws, yes. Because the pink and black matches the purple and black on my bow, so...
Gotta be color coordinated.
You gotta be fashionable in the woods.
I mean, the zombie slayers are amazing, but I don't know if those bright neon colors look good with a purple bow. So,
they all
anyways, I'll be shooting the Black Eagle arrows. The rest I got is a black QAD Ultra rest. I've been shooting a drop away. This won't be my first drop away, but it will be my first QAD. For the past couple years, with the Evo, I've been shooting an NAP Apache.
Okay.
And I got to say I love that rest, but one thing I could change about it is that you cannot preload that rest.
Okay.
So you have an arrow nock sitting in the tree, and you pick your bow up, and if you're not completely straight up and down with your bow, that arrow can fall off that rest and clink against the riser, which isn't a good thing. So
right.
I'm going with the QAD Ultra rest.
You'll like that one. Mike and I both got that.
I know. I can't wait to shoot it. I've shot a couple of friends' bows that have them on there, and I've fallen in love with them. So, as far as my sight, I went with a single pin. This is going to be my first single pin sight. It is the HHA Optimizer Kingpin. It's the 5519 model, so it's going to be an ordeal. I have never sighted in a single pin, so that's going to be a learning experience.
Okay, so is that the one that's got the dial, or is that a slider for the distance?
This has a dial that you turn.
Okay.
And so you put your yardage tape on there, and it says once you're with this one in particular, once you're sighted in at 20 and 50 or 20 and 60 yards, you are guaranteed to be on up to 100.
Okay. I used to shoot an HHA that was similar to that. It had the tape on there, and you had to do all the dialing in and all that. Once I had that thing set up, I loved it. So
I know. I'm hoping I will love this. I've been shooting a CBE for the past couple years. I love it. It's a 4-pin, and I just, even though those pins are so small in there, and the CBE is a great sight, I just thought it was time to switch to a single pin because I'm tired of looking at my sight and having it be all clustered up with pins. So
right on.
This is definitely going to be a different experience, so I'm hoping I like it.
I tell you what, when you get that sight on, I know there's somebody you're going to be talking to that will easily help you out to that range.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
With one pin.
Yep.
Yeah. The master of one pin, the one that we shot with.
Yeah, that's something. I still, to this day, it's practice, and man, it's some serious practice, and
it's amazing.
It is, and shooting those Black Eagles. I've been shooting between the Renegades, and today I shot the Zombie Slayers, and man, those arrows fly.
They do. You know what? And they all look good, covered in blood.
Well, I was gonna say when she was talking colors, I said they all end up red.
That's right. As long as they end up red, that's all that matters.
Right. That's a good thing. But yeah, you're gonna be shooting that purple monster, the Evil.
Yes.
The Evolve. Sorry.
Yeah, she was shooting the Evo last year.
Right. But you've got the 35.
Yeah.
Yes, I got the 35. So I'm hoping by maybe over winter or something to shoot some competition with it. There's a range here in Columbus called Velocity, and they have an indoor league, 3D league. So I'd like to get involved in that, especially over winter, shoot indoors.
Right.
Absolutely.
So we'll see how that goes.
You know what? But one big thing you're heading down to your last semester of college.
I am. Classes start tomorrow. I graduate on December 23rd, so I've only got a few short months, and I will no longer be in college. I will be a graduate. I'm only in 3 classes this semester, which is pretty cool, and the rest of my college hours is coming from an internship I'll be doing. So this semester will be a little bit different than all the other ones I've had because of that internship, but I think it'll be a great time.
Are you doing any work with the internship, doing something in the outdoor industry, perchance?
I am. I have an internship with the Sportsman's Alliance. Their national headquarters are right here in Columbus, and I will be working in the communication department. I'll be writing for them and creating projects and fundraisers and stuff like that. And Sportsman's Alliance, their main goal is to preserve the rights of hunters, fishermen, and trappers in the United States. So they also have another location in Washington, D.C., where they do a lot of lobbying because a lot of this stuff is political, hunting land and stuff getting taken away or whatnot, and rights getting taken away that they stand up and fight for. So it's a lot like the NRA, but on a much smaller scale. So I'm excited. I will be working in the outdoor industry with this internship.
That is awesome. You got somebody that's out there hitting it hard, working on our behalf. So if anybody's got anything that they got a gripe about and they want to send to Washington, get a hold of Mara.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Getting back to the bow just a little bit, one thing we didn't talk about, what are you using for a release?
I shoot the Scott Little Goose. It is like my favorite release ever. It's a dual caliber, and it's one of the most touchy releases I've ever shot. Because I used to have issues with an old TrueFire that kind of shot more like the trigger of a gun. You just pull, and then finally it would release. Mm-hmm. And I got in a really bad habit of even though I'd pull it slow, I would just jump the shots because it would kind of scare me. I was intimidated by it because I never quite knew when it was going to go off. Mm-hmm. But the Scott Little Goose is amazing because the second I even touch my finger on it, it's going off. So that really helped me get out of that rut I was in with jumping shots and pulling shots and doing all sorts of stuff that was bad a couple years ago. So I highly recommend that release.
Does that trigger, is it adjustable for the amount of weight or amount of pressure it takes to fire it?
Mm-hmm, it is, yeah, but I still have it on the most sensitive setting, just I like it that way. And it's also adjustable. There's a set screw in it where you can move it move the actual like shaft of the release out or in, depending on your hand size.
Okay, all right.
So yeah.
Yeah, I was just wondering which one that you were using. Danny, he's been flipping back and forth on a couple different things, and I'm ready to try something new as well, because the one I've got, I'm having issues with, much like you said you did with yours, the one you used earlier.
Which one are you shooting?
It's a True Fire as well, or no, I'm sorry, True Ball, True Fire. I can't remember. I have to look at it.
I think mine's my trusty one's a True Ball.
Yeah.
And the other True Ball that I tried, which is now sitting in the bottom of my box.
I'm saying you threw it out back in the woods.
Oh, I wouldn't do that, but no, I went back to the Old Faithful, and I talked with Dan on Wednesday, or Friday, matter of fact, when I bumped into him in the store up here in Cabela's, and
hanging out in Cabela's again, huh?
Yeah, I had to go pick up some farm equipment.
Oh, okay, Farmer Dan.
Yeah, that's right. So, I needed his insight on a little mental training.
Okay.
Not saying I'm mental.
Oh, you don't have to. We already know.
Oh, thanks.
I've talked to your wife about that. She's got a long story about that for you.
Yeah. Great. Mara's laughing.
So what are you doing? Mental exercises or what?
Yes.
Seriously.
I am seriously doing mental exercises with bow in hand.
Do you care to share, or is that another story?
We can do a little segment on it after this. And
right on. Okay.
Trials and tribulations of bow hunting and shooting.
Okay, I'm just trying to figure out what you're up to lately.
Yeah, good luck.
Nobody knows.
Right.
Shut up, Mara.
Oh, here we go. It didn't take long. First segment, we're already at each other's throats.
Nah,
just like old times.
So she's got to get to do some shooting out there. She's got Dan right in her back door, so she's gonna get a hold of Dan. Dan is that dude knows it. It's awesome.
Is he going to be at Bowfest this year?
Yes, he is.
Okay.
He will be up sometime this week.
Okay.
But he will be at Bowfest, and I am sure I could have Friday, but he's going to have some new bows on with him.
Oh, target bows?
Yep.
Oh, so we get to shoot the new target bows?
Yes.
Giggity. I'm excited.
He had it in the car, but I didn't have time Friday to go. You want to? And I said, no, I got to get going.
Yeah.
But it'll be present next Saturday.
Oh, man, I'm fired up now. I'm ready to go.
I'm sure we'll be Facebooking live.
Gotta like that.
Absolutely.
I'll tell you what, we're bumping up against our first break. Let's take a break. We come back. I want to hear more about what's been going on with Mara this summer. So,
yes.
You going to hang with us for a few, Mara?
Yes, I will.
All right, hang on. We'll step outside. We'll be right back after this.
PSE Archery has always dominated the speed category. Now, the most revolutionary cam system ever to hit the market has perfected the shooting experience. Introducing PSE's Evolve cam system, featuring extremely high let-off capabilities and the smoothest draw cycle in history. No other cam system has ever delivered this level of total comfort and total control. Experience PSE. Experience performance.
Killer Food Plots have been helping property owners for over 20 years create premier whitetail habitat. Whether replenishing your soil with their all-natural Organics Fusion pellets or planting a premier KFP food plot seed blend to help your deer rebuild their bodies through spring and summer while supplying the much-needed high energy during and after the rut, you can trust that Killer Food Plots family and their products will help your deer achieve their full potential.
Welcome back. Second segment of the show. Chilling in the cabin.
Chilling in the cabin. It's kind of, well, you know what? It's really not too bad out.
No.
You know, and Mara on the phone with us. Mm-hmm. Speaking of checking out, have you been checking out your hunting property? Have you gotten your cameras out yet?
I have. I have a camera up at my primary spot, and I will tell you right now that there's been a lot of construction in the area out there. Which kind of worried me a little bit because I'm like, there's a lot of, you know, they're basically paving new on and off ramps onto a freeway, like probably a mile away, maybe a little bit more than a mile away. So that's a lot of ruckus happening out there. all summer long. But I thought maybe that would drive the deer away, but it looks like they're all actually getting driven towards me because I have 2 or 3 monster bucks on trail camera.
Well, I tell you what, if there's anything in solace to take from any kind of advice, you just got to remember Mark Hammer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mr. By the Highway Buck.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So, you're right there with all the construction, but it might work in your favor where they're pushing the bucks to you.
Yeah, especially if you got an area that's quiet, that could be a little sanctuary for them to hide in.
Yeah, absolutely. So when we get done with the show tonight, I will put some pictures up on the Up North Journal Facebook page. You guys can check those out. Definitely, because there's some big deer. And one of them kind of looks like the big one I had last year. But obviously his times are a little bit different this year. It might be the same one, might not. It's kind of hard to tell, but yeah, you guys will have to check them out.
All
There's
right.
a couple real big ones.
Oh, you will.
Well, I'm pulling cards Labor Day weekend.
Cool.
Yeah, that's when I'll pull my cards are obviously 2 cards are out. I'll be heading up over Labor Day. I'll pull them, see what. Hopefully, my trail cameras are still there.
How many cameras do you have out, Mark?
I only have one up right now because after last year and seeing this giant buck walk in the same place in the field, the exact same like clockwork.
Right.
I said that's where I need to be hunting because I could see it from my stand, which is like in the middle of the woods. So
okay.
I only have one up right now because it's kind of on the edge of the neighbor's property and mine. So I didn't go back any further. Plus, I think if I went back any further, I think that's where he's bedding. So because that's where he would come out of every night. So I only have one up because I know exactly where I'm going to be hunting this year.
There you go. What about you, Dan? How many you got up?
I got 2 cameras out right now. I've got 2 of the Cabela's cameras that I bought last year. I got those out. One I got in a typical spot that I had last year, and the other one now I put in a spot after the cut. It's on it's now used to be in the middle of the woods, which is now an edge of a woods.
Okay.
So we'll see what's traversing the edge right there. In July, we had a bear on it after just a day. So hopefully Mr. Bear doesn't come back and
we've got them on ours too, and we got a couple of them that are pretty decent size. So
I'll be interested to see if
you had any come into the cabin.
No, not lately. We haven't had that issue.
That's good. That's always good.
Yeah. So
and that's one of the things. I'm hoping to see a bear, but I'd like to catch a wolf
on camera,
I'm
or
sure.
catch them by the toe.
Well, either way.
Okay.
But either coyotes or wolves, I don't know. I know they're over there. It's just we haven't seen them. It's been a while since I've seen them over that corner. But yeah, it's. I'm getting excited to be up there for Labor Day, and I will definitely be back before the bridge closes.
That's good. Yeah, you need to get back on this side of the bridge before they close it off on Monday morning. Well, I've got 8 cameras out, and I got
Mara, what camera
2 more
are you using?
Right here, going up.
I use the Bushnell Aggressor. That is my favorite camera I have, and Bushnell also makes all the Cabela's cameras. So
I did not know
pretty
that.
much the same thing as the Cabela's cameras.
Okay,
Right.
and that's what you got.
And I have 2 of the Cabela's cameras myself.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I got 2 more Spec Ops, Browning Spec Ops that I'm putting out.
You like those Browning Spec Ops?
I love the Browning trail cameras. I've had my first set now for 3 years. They're still rocking strong. No issues. They produce great color photos. I don't have a lot of false positives with those. I do get false positives with a couple other cameras that shall remain nameless, but no, I like those. They work good for me.
Do you get a lot of that, Mara, with your camera? False positives? Trees blowing? Wind?
I don't.
You don't?
I don't. I've been really impressed with the Aggressor. I used to have that problem. Like Mike, I won't say what cameras they are.
Right.
But yeah, I definitely used to have that problem. But I don't with the Bushnell.
Now, is that Aggressor? Is that the top of the line of their cameras?
I think it's like one below the top of the line.
Okay. And I think with the technology, when you get into the whatever camera you're using, I mean, obviously the more you spend, the better quality camera you're going to get.
Right. I think the Aggressor MSRP is like $179.99.
Okay.
I think there's one that is more than that, but I can't think of the name of it right now.
Okay. That's right in there where the ones I'm using, about that same price. So.
Yeah, I honestly want to get one of the cellular ones. I just don't want to
Pay the money?
Have to hook it up to my cell phone plan. That's
Right.
Right.
the only thing. Like, have to use your data on it or whatever, but it'd be so cool.
Don't they have do you know if that's like a special plan for that?
Data plan, a special data pack?
The different camera manufacturers have different, like...
Oh, different.
Like some are through Verizon, some are through AT&T, kind of a thing. But Moultrie, I know, makes them like their own modem that you can like hang by like you buy it separately and hang it from an existing or hang it near an existing Moultrie camera, as long as it's not super old and it's compatible. And so that modem will send it through its own like Wi-Fi basically.
And I'll bet you that is anything later than a certain year. Mm-hmm. The way everything's progressing, it's now cut off by the year.
Right.
I tell you what, we saw.
So, I mean, if you wanted to try cellular camera, I mean, that's probably the way to go, unless you want to hook it up through your data. But I don't have any Moultrie, so it would be a big investment to buy a little modem and a brand new Moultrie camera. So.
Right, exactly. And I have Verizon, so my best bet would be to get somebody through Verizon. I probably would have to go on the high side of the property, which is no big deal.
Well, that's the other thing. You got to have cell service in the area, too.
And, do you have to have so many bars, 1 bar, 2 bar, 3 bar?
I would imagine so.
So
to be more reliable.
I know Spartan Cam puts out one that's...
It's done hooked to your phone.
We've seen that one at ATA. But yeah, I tell you what.
I think SpyPoint might be through Verizon, and I think Bushnell is AT&T, if I can remember right.
Right, and I tell you
what. It's been a while since I've been to Cabela's.
Yeah, so, it's just so much technology going on. And what better way than, able to sit at your house and all of a sudden here comes a message and you look and it's your pictures.
Could be sitting drinking coffee in your slippers. Speaking of, what happened to your shoes?
My shoes? I take them off when I come in the house.
You walked in slippers. He walked in to do the show today in slippers. I was going to take a photo and post it, but he's barefoot now.
See, there's one thing about coming to the cabin in the summertime.
Yeah, you can come in barefoot.
You can come in your slippers.
That's right. Oh, man. So this year, so you kind of got your spot picked out. You know where your bucks are hanging. Food plots, little food patches, a kill plot, or you hunting over near ag fields? What's going on with that?
I am hunting over an ag field that separates my woods, and then it's actually soybeans this year. Last year it was corn, and then there's another big section of woods that have a lot of deer activity, and the deer kind of cross the field and go from one woods to another. My piece of property and the one across the field both have ponds, so I think they're both major water sources for the deer.
Okay.
So yeah, it's kind of cool this year to be hunting over beans because I can just see so much further, obviously, than when the corn's up. You can't see anything until they take that corn down.
Right.
So.
Okay.
So yeah, it should be good. I mean, the deer are eating up those beans on the camera. A lot of them are deer munching down. So I didn't plant any kind of food plot or anything. Usually by this time I get some minerals out, so the next time I go check my cameras, I like to use Acorn Rage and Trophy Rock, and that kind of leaches into the ground, and they'll keep coming to that spot for, honestly, a year, because there's a bare spot in that field where I had some of that mineral supplement last year, and it's still bare to this day. So that tells me that when they planted those beans, the deer were still rummaging through that dirt and digging it up, and that's why there's no beans that grew in that same spot.
Right on.
That's a true statement. Interesting. That's a true statement too. We've got 2 spots on our property that I've been maintaining, and usually what I do is I'll find an old stump and just start pouring it over that stump. And like you said, they've dug around the stump, underneath the stump, digging out, chewing the stump, and they go after those minerals pretty good.
They do.
In the backyard, I got a block out that from Tractor Supply, and it's got the minerals in it. And kind of that gate, I watch them to see how they react around this stuff. And I tell you what, in the spring and in the fall, they come in there and they go after, especially the spring, the pregnant does. Man,
that was going to be my question to you. I've talked to people who've noticed that springtime, especially, the mineral rocks are more active.
Absolutely.
And then it's like during the summer, they don't even touch them. And then they say they'll come back to them maybe later in the fall, possibly.
In my what do you call it? My research area.
Oh, is that what you call it now?
We'll call it the research area.
Your backyard.
My backyard. I tell you what, I've researched more things back there. It's funny, but they come in the spring, and those does are pregnant. They're getting bigger. I mean, they come in and they will stand there and just lick that thing and lick that thing. Then they'll go off and come back. And as the summer goes on, you're right, it falls off a little bit. They still come back to it.
Mm-hmm.
And
what about the bucks?
Yep.
Bucks too?
Well, in
the summer.
Yep.
Okay.
And then now they're back to it again. And they're still in their stubborn patterns. Everybody's getting along together in harmony.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure that's going to be changing within the next month.
Yeah, I was talking with our manager up north, and he said they're still mingling around in bachelor groups, but he said it's not going to be long. They're going to be breaking up.
Yeah, no, it's in. And I don't know, Mara, your bucks on your trail cam, are you still in velvet?
Honestly, all the pictures are at night, so if they are, it's not much because they don't look like it to me.
It might be getting to the point. There's a point they're going through right now. You can tell it's starting to shrink.
Shrink down on the bone.
They're starting to shrink now.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell.
Yeah, I think it is kind of to that point. Cause it kind of looks like they're a little bit rounded off, but I don't know, it's kind of weird. I mean, they definitely haven't shed their velvet, I don't think, but it's kind of hard to tell with the nighttime pictures. It's a little bit fuzzy, but the points are still a little bit round.
Yep, so best bet is I'd go that they're still in velvet. Is most of your pictures most of your pictures coming in at night now?
The real big bucks are coming in around 2 a.m.
When the bar's closed.
That's most of the pictures of the big bucks. I have a couple little ones that are mingling around, in the early morning or evening, but the big guys are around 2 a.m. But we had the same thing last year until rut. They would come in real late, and then around rut, this big buck would walk in pretty much every time we hunted, right at dark. Like I'm talking like maybe 5 minutes after legal shooting light, he would stroll in. So,
well, that's kind of the way it happened at our place. It was the same thing. Everything we saw was all the pictures of night train that I had was at night. Until like the 24th of October when I laid eyes on him the first time, and he was out a half hour before last shooting light.
Well, that's the thing.
Yep.
And now, Mara, do you know your area? Do you think your area is a transition area, bedding area? What do you think you're dealing with?
I think they bed more towards the back of the property, and then they come out, when they're kind of waking up and coming out for the evening, they just walk right by where this camera's up. That's what the pattern they were on last year. Like I said, I'm pretty sure one of these bucks is the same one we were looking at last year. So they kind of use it as a travel corridor because they like being close to the edge of the woods, but it's easier for them to walk on the edge of in the field. They don't have to dodge the underbrush and everything. So I think they use it as a travel corridor when they wake up and come out for the night.
Yeah, there's one thing deer like is an easy path.
Yeah, they like an easy path, but they also like being close to cover in case they need to jump into cover quick. So,
there's one thing when you especially after seeing the cutting up with the logging project, they blazed in a couple new trails, right? Yeah, they'll use it too.
Right.
It's like, wow, thanks for the road.
Path of least resistance.
Exactly. But, they'll stay right on the edge of it because if they need to jump into the underbrush, they'll do it. But so you're gonna have to plan it so you trip one up either early morning or late in the evening. He's gonna have to come out.
Exactly. Yeah, I think my best shot, if it's anything like last year, is going to be late in the evening, which works good for me with my my school schedule and everything. So we'll see what happens.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're bumping up on our next break here, so let's step outside, take a next break, come back. We got a couple other topics we want to talk about tonight, so we'll be right back after this.
So what do you do when you've completely redefined the way bows are engineered? When you've reached the pinnacle and the band starts playing your victory song, you start a revolution out of thin air. Introducing the all-new PSE Carbon Air, engineered with true carbon technology to be the lightest high-performance bow in the world. Experience PSE. Experience performance.
Killer Food Plots have been helping property owners for over 20 years create premier whitetail habitat. Whether replenishing your soil with their all-natural Organics Fusion pellets, or planting a premier KFP food plot seed blend to help your deer rebuild their bodies through spring and summer while supplying the much needed high energy during and after the rut, you can trust that Killer Food Plots family and their products will help your deer achieve their full potential.
Welcome back. Third segment of the show. Mara is taking a quick break to see if she can get her computer back.
Right, because we tried to work something out that was going to be special for tonight's episode, but you know, static electricity and computers don't usually work together.
They don't work well.
Yes.
So we're going to take this time to talk about
a new product.
A new piece of gear from one of our sponsors.
If anybody paid any attention to Wednesday, I shared a live Facebook post from Fourth Arrow.
Yeah.
And
Mark Winalda told us he was going to be doing something special coming up. He said they're going to be doing releasing a new piece of gear. He told us that when we interviewed him,
but he didn't say what though,
and he didn't say when. And all of a sudden, here we go.
So Wednesday it started. They're going to do more, I guess. They've got according. I watched the episode and I shared it, and it's the first of a few, I guess. But lo and behold, I have one in my hands, and you haven't seen this yet.
No.
But
I kind of saw it on the live stream.
On the live stream, but there it is. It's the Fourth Arrow phone holder.
Just from looking at this piece of gear, number one, the first thing I notice of how well it's made here. I know we're talking on a live stream, and I've got it held up here, 3 or 4 feet away from the camera because of the desk. But basically, you've got a clamp jaw here that you can put around a tree limb, a pole, an ATV handlebar, a UTV rail.
So what it also was, they made it. They kind of came up and they said you could attach it to your camera arm.
So first thing is this right here, this position.
That's the big jaw.
Right here, it's got a set screw. You can lock it to any position or like around a tree limb, or
up to 2.5 inches, I think is what.
So what we're doing here, okay, so that's still loose, right? But it's set back here. So it's now you take this bottom screw and you tighten it up on tree limb, camera arm, what have you. So if we've got right here's the post, the camera's going to set here, and you're filming your deer. You can put your cell phone in this holder and have it back for a POV point of view.
Right, exactly.
Right back at you when you shoot your bow.
Right, or you can take that, put that on a little branch, or you could clamp it to your bow if you wanted to.
Shooting rail,
the extender pole that they also have.
And kind of something that I was thinking about is how would maybe on a boat. There's plenty of things you could clamp this onto on a boat.
On a boat fishing. I looked on my UTV. There was places I could attach it there.
I'd put my phone on there, but my phone's actually live streaming right now.
Right, exactly.
But basically, it's kind of like a selfie stick here.
Up to 3-inch phone, I think, is what they took it out to.
Yeah. So
now, one of the cool things, I was sitting there when I got this on Saturday. I was looking at, and I was like, "Wow, that's kind of cool." But there's another cool factor. Is that you can take this, as I unscrew it here, and change the position into this one.
Oh, okay. So that's what that other threaded receiver's for.
Yes.
Nice.
So there, it gives you more of a straight-up position, depending on where, but it gives you another option for angle. And depending on where you're going or what you're attaching to, like on my UTV, if I hook it to my outer bar, it could sit there, and then I could have it on this angle, and I could be shooting outside the UTV instead of through the window.
Right on. I gotcha.
So, but retail on this is going to be $24.99.
That's it?
Yep. It's all metal.
That's a bargain.
There isn't, except this rubber little pull thing.
Okay, that's the spring-loaded deal to hold that clamps onto your phone.
Yep. $24.99. They're in stock as we speak. So if you want a little piece of little phone holder that's Fourth Arrow made, quality's there, folks.
You know what? And even if you're not out into the hunting world, and you just happen to be catching our live stream here, you can take this and it'd be a great gift for somebody for maybe out golfing. You can clamp it onto your bag. You know what I'm saying? Our buddy Tony, who just chimed in, he's a big golfer. You know, that way you could have a camera holder and you could put it on the golf cart. You know, you could clamp it onto a table, you know, for a picnic. There's 18 million different uses you could clamp that thing onto and use it for a phone holder.
Anything you can clamp it on, yes. I mean, like we were just talking, I used it today to take some video of me shooting. But like you said, golfing, boating, anything you wanted to.
Right. Anything you can get into that clamp.
So it's just not limited to. And then you could set it up, put it on your blind, your tree. It's kind of cool.
$24.99. Gotta like it.
That's
and
right.
the other part about this is a Michigan company. This is made in Michigan.
Right. For us here in Michigan, this is made right here on the west side of the state. You can get a hold of them, their website, fourtharrow.com, and check it out there. Get one. I'm sure Charles Barham in Iowa could use one of these for when he shoots a deer. So,
you know, if you're using a box blind, the first thing I'm thinking of is clamping that onto the window. You know, because people want to take a video. Maybe they don't have a camera. They don't run with cameras like what we do out in the field.
Right.
You know, put your cell phone and have it clamped on the side of the window. You know, turn the arm, fire that bad boy up, shoot your deer.
Okay, so if you watch the live stream, one of the Fourth Arrow gentlemen uses to watch a movie while in the blind.
Well, he's in the blind. That's right. That's his movie holder.
Yes. That cracked me right up. I was like,
do you sit in the blind and scan Facebook? Do you watch maybe football games on the weekend when you're in the deer blind?
I don't watch anything while I'm in the deer blind. One reason is, depending on where I'm at on the property, I might not have service anyways.
Right.
I barely get text.
Okay.
If I'm on the high side, I scan a little bit, but you know what? I feel like I'm missing something.
Right.
And it's like, I look up and I was like, okay. You know, it's like, well, what do I do? What if I miss something? I hate missing something.
Right.
That I know some people, matter of fact, we had this discussion when we were doing the Cabela's opening. Not Tom Nelson.
Tim Andrews?
Tim Andrews was heading out to Wyoming, and the gentleman where he was going says, oh, and by the way, there's no internet service. He was kind of depressed about that.
It's like, what am I going to do while I'm sitting in the blind?
Right. But you know what? He had his antelope in 3 hours.
You did. Nice speed goat.
Oh, jeez. So, same thing with Tom Nelson. I didn't hear if Tom got one, though.
I haven't heard yet. I haven't seen anything on Facebook.
Nope. He emailed me today, and that's why he wasn't. I was waiting on an email back from him, but he was out of town.
Okay.
In fabulous Wyoming. But anyways, there you go. The Fourth Arrow phone holder.
I got an idea for this already. What have I been doing for training for this year for getting ready for...
Putting it on your bike?
Put it right on the handlebar.
You know, you're right.
Put that right on the handlebar. I've been using my bow holder. I've got the UTV brackets.
Yep.
On the front, and I can put a rifle in, strap it down, or put my bow in there, so that way I'm not carrying it on my back while I'm pedaling. It's right up on the front. It's it's a rack, but I could take and put that right on the front instead of I'd take my phone, turn it sideways, and put it in there because I use a tracking app.
Oh yeah.
To see how far I ride,
yep.
And my time and all that. But I could take and use this and put this up. That way I could actually see it a lot easier, and actually shoot a little video while I go along. Everybody can watch me suffer.
That's right.
Pedaling my fat butt around.
And you know what? You're right, Charles. For the price, you can't beat it. See, he even said, me and my wife were just talking about this today. Mm-hmm. So if you get one, Charles, let us know how it works for you. Take some pictures.
And let them know that you saw it here at the Up North Journal, too.
Right, exactly. Let them know. You know what? If I make you a special helmet, we could probably attach this to your head.
No, we're not going to attach nothing to my head.
Oh, you tried.
No. Handlebars, that's about as far as we'll go.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to pedal around with no camera on my head.
Why not?
Because just not going to do it.
It's for research sake.
Yeah, okay. Are we back over to the research center now? You want me to ride around the backyard?
If you wear it on your head.
yeah, right. I don't think so. Jeez, oh, Pete. Here we go.
But yeah, so we're definitely going to be using these this year. I was using it today, like I said, to get some video. I was working on trying to get an overhead shot. I still got to work on that one, though. Just didn't have anything to hook it up. I was like, So
climb a tree and hang it up on a branch up in the tree.
I wanted to get
overhead while you're shooting?
Of me shooting.
I gotcha.
I just didn't have nothing to attach it to on my porch.
Okay.
So I got to work on that.
What you need to do is use the 4th Arrow extendable pole for the action camera.
I couldn't attach the pole to anything, though. That was the thing.
Oh, you didn't have a
I was there.
Okay.
Besides getting my wife up on a ladder, holding it over my head.
Yeah, I don't think she'd do that. She'd probably hold it over your head and drop it and knock you out.
She wasn't about to. That's almost exactly what she says. I'll hold it, I guess. No.
I know her too well.
See, you do. So, but many uses. Stay tuned for more coming from the field for this guy. That's for sure.
So they got more stuff coming out. You said?
You know, he said it was on the video. There was more coming out. So Stay tuned. Be interesting to see what they got.
Yep.
Hopefully, this got great reviews from me. I used it today, messing around with just a little bit of video. So we'll take it into the field and see what happens.
Yeah, I'll get out and see what I can do out here in the backyard. I'll come up with 15 different ways to use it.
I'll be hooking this up to my UTV. I'll be taking some video and sharing that with everybody and see how it works. As far as not marksmanship, craftsmanship. Looks like it's spot on.
I'm impressed at how well it's made and the way it looks there. It's a solid piece of gear.
If there's only one thing that maybe, and I don't know for sure, but maybe a couple little felt things.
For?
If you're going to put it on metal, if you didn't want it to...
What about rubber?
Or rubber.
Yeah.
Rubber or felt.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that I looked at.
That way it wouldn't slip and turn, yeah.
Right.
There you go.
That's the only thing I really...
You could probably get some that rubber. It's got adhesive on one side and stick it on the inside.
There's plenty of it.
So.
All right. Yes, attach it to Mike's head. We've got a vote from Charles.
Thanks, Charles. Let's see where my friends are.
Yep, exactly. Let me give you a thumbs up there, buddy. You're right.
I'll tell you what. Let's take our next break. We come back. We'll see if Mara's got her computer straightened out here and continue on with our last segment. We'll be right back after this.
I shoot PSE because I like one pin to 40 yards.
I shoot PSE for the perfect combination of feel and performance.
I shoot PSE because you can shoot lighter poundage and increase arrow speed.
I shoot PSE for the fastest bows on the planet. I shoot PSE because my livelihood depends on my bow.
I shoot PSE because better engineering makes a better bow.
I shoot PSE.
I shoot PSE.
I shoot PSE. I shoot PSE.
Experience PSE. Experience performance.
Killer Food Plots have been helping property owners for over 20 years create premier whitetail habitat. Whether replenishing your soil with their all-natural Organics Fusion pellets or planting a premier KFP food plot seed blend to help your deer rebuild their bodies through spring and summer while supplying the much-needed high energy during and after the rut, you can trust that Killer Food Plots family and their products will help your deer achieve their full potential.
Welcome back, everybody. After a little technical difficulty, we got Mara back on, but we've got her here on the podcast and as well as the live stream. We couldn't quite get the connection we wanted, but we do have her on Skype still. So
we're figuring this out as we
go. We'll work through this for future shows. But
can you believe we're going into the last weekend of August?
No, man. It's hunting season's upon us.
Bowfest is next week.
Bowfest is coming up for Saturday
at Jim Beasley's Spot Shooters in Holly. Anybody, get out there. You want to talk about an action-packed day of stuff. He's going to have every rep there under the sun. He's going to have the marching band, military honors in the morning at 9:15, I do believe. I think at 9 o'clock everything starts.
Okay. Gotcha.
So, but... it's and then the week after that is Labor Day.
I know it. And then after that is early goose season, and then we're rolling right into bow season.
I know. It's like, yeesh.
It's coming fast.
Small game hunting is going to be here.
Yeah.
September 1st, like you said, early goose season. And then shortly after that, I think we got some early September in some states for hunting.
Yeah. Yeah, it starts the 15th, I believe, like maybe Kentucky or Missouri.
I want to say Kentucky is one of them that does go off.
Because I think they can hunt for bucks down there in Velvet, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. Wouldn't that be cool?
It would be.
I think I want to go after a speed goat, though.
That would be nice, too. Actually, we haven't really talked about this a whole lot. I don't even think Mara's even heard us talk about this.
Mara hasn't heard anything.
We're contemplating actually doing a bear hunt next year.
Yes, we are. We're thinking about getting our points together. We just got to make sure that we got our T's crossed and I's dotted and E's clear, and we'll be in.
Yeah, I'm liking it. I'm liking that idea. Just got to get the plan together, and we'll know more probably April, May-ish of next year.
We have to know by May of next year.
Right, that's when we got to put in.
That's when we got to put in for it.
So
we won't have no choice.
Right.
How many points does it take in Michigan to be able to bear hunt?
Well, where Danny's at, it's what?
It all depends on...
A couple?
It all depends on what bear management area that you want. It can go from a couple, which is you get 1 point a year, and then it's a weighted lottery system for people on the outside of the state. But it can take a couple up to 4, or there's, I think, one area is in the teens.
Well, our area is about 8 or 9.
Your area is 8 or 9.
Yeah.
And then I think there's one area which is...
northwest corner?
Yeah. I think that's in the teens.
Yeah, I know one of our tags are one of the most coveted in the state,
right,
in our area. So.
And I got 13 points.
And I've got 9, I believe, so we're good to go.
Right.
For next year if we want to put in for it. So
absolutely.
And then outer staters, they take the cumulative points of them as well. But if there's, I don't know, let's say there's 100 people from out of state, they only fill a certain percentage of tags. So the people that got those amount of points, there's only so many tags that are drawn from out of state, if that makes any sense.
Okay, yeah.
And I don't know if it's 10% or if it's 5%. I really can't remember, but it's a weighted draw for the people that are out of state. So they have to wait just probably a little bit longer. So
right. So you're right, Dennis. Maybe you can get some small game hunting in. Of course you can.
So,
but hopefully we'll get all those plans together, get a bear hunt in. I would like to get a bear. No doubt about it.
Well, speaking of the summer coming shortly here to an end, really quick. Mara, what have you guys been doing any fishing this year? I know Cody's been hitting the circuits back and forth. How's that all going? We haven't heard much about that.
I personally have not fished any tournaments with Cody this year. This is the first year in 3 years that I haven't actually competed with him. But he kind of moved up in his fishing career to the BFLs, which is the Bass Fishing League, and he is fishing the Michigan circuit, which launches out of St. Clair. So he's been crazy busy up there between fishing the Detroit River, St. Clair, and Lake Erie, because they're all connected.
Right.
So he's having a blast up there. He's actually done pretty well. But I've gone up there a couple times with him to do some fun fishing and practicing, especially when we go to different parts of the lake that he may have, never been to before. Because this was his first time on St. Clair was this year. So he wanted to kind of up his game and go out of state, and fish a lake that he's never fished before. And he's done surprisingly well. He's got one tournament left, and he's sitting 36th right now in the overall points out of, I want to say there's about 100 guys.
Okay.
I was just going to ask you how many are in the BFL is what you called it?
Yeah, the BFL Bass Fishing League. I think it's like around 100. He might get mad if that number's wrong. But it's a different kind of fishing than we normally do. Usually, I would fish with him, or his friends would fish with him, or whatever, as the co-angler. But in this circuit, since it's on such a big scale, the co-angler is actually a random draw when you get there. So whoever's fishing in your boat with you, you don't combine your best 5 fish. You keep your 5 fish, and your co-angler will keep his 5 fish in 2 separate live wells. And then there's basically 2 different tournaments going on per boat, if that makes sense. So,
okay.
So it can be frustrating at times, if Cody rolls up on a spot or whatever, and the co-angler catches a fish or 2, and Cody doesn't, because it's not a team effort. I mean, it is in the fact that you'll help net the fish or do whatever your co-angler or angler needs, but you're not a team when it comes to the end of the day. Let's combine our best 5 fish and weigh in, because it's totally separate weigh-ins, totally separate divisions. So that's been pretty cool for him. I know he enjoys it. And if he stays in the upper, I think it's either if he's 40 or 45th above that in the points, then he gets to go to the the regional, and I'm not sure where that is, but he's having a blast. So, and I've been so busy this summer in the new house and all the projects and the big garden and, with my horses, and this summer's been kind of crazy that I kind of wish we would have fished some tournaments, but at the same time, I had so much going on, it's probably better that I stay here most of the time. So.
Right. I gotcha.
Yeah.
Sounds like an action-packed summer.
He's in the BFL.
BFL.
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Best friends list?
Yeah. Yep.
BFFs forever.
It made me laugh. And the reason why, because last night on ESPN, they had the Cornhole Championships.
Oh, really?
Live on ESPN.
Wow.
I totally would have watched that if I knew that was on.
And I tell you what, these guys were good. I've never really played the game except for just fun here and there, but these guys were
taking it serious.
Oh my, to another level.
All right.
I mean, and they could just it was just one of those things like, really? This is on ESPN Live. Yes, it was.
So that was the CHC, the Cornhole Championship, huh?
You're
okay.
Right.
It's pretty cool.
It's pretty funny.
I honestly didn't know that was a thing.
It makes two of us.
Wow.
So I was flipping through the guide, and I looked, and I went, what?
Right.
Of course I had to put it on.
Right.
And these guys were flat out awesome. I mean, it was like they would throw in right through. It was like, oh.
All right. Well, how's his bait company coming along? Champion Baits.
It's coming along pretty good. He has sold quite a few. I think it'll really ramp up this winter, honestly, even though it's kind of off season. There's the big Columbus Fishing Expo that happens, so I'm sure he's going to get a booth space there and set up a table and sell a bunch of baits. He's been selling quite a few online and through his website, so
gotcha.
That's going well. He's got a new thing that he's wanting to do now. He's got a champion rod prototype, so he's going to be getting his own line of fishing rods and selling those. So
okay,
stay tuned for that. It hasn't happened yet, but he's working and getting that all lined up. So that should really complement the bait company very nice, because you go out, you buy a rod, and you can get some baits at the same time.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now we can get him designing the UNJ boat.
There you go.
Exactly.
The UNJ tournament boat, and hey, there we go.
That's right.
Yep.
So, well,
speaking of getting into things, and next week also, I see Jason Meekoff joined us.
Mm-hmm.
So he'll be there next week at Bowfest as well.
Okay. Shout out to Will Miser there. He's from Rutten River Podcast, part of the Outdoor Podcast channel. If you guys, I just want to give them a quick shout out, man. Those guys are hilarious. I love listening to their show, and if I can recommend, some of the shows to go check out, theirs is definitely one of them.
Also, Jerry Lambert joined us.
Yeah, our Michigan author.
Author, writes books, writes for Woods and Water, writes for various other places. If you want a book to read or a few books to read, check out Jerry Lambert's selection of books he has. You want to check out something to read in the blind?
There you go.
There you go.
You're not supposed to be reading in the blind, but if you do, it's a good choice.
Well, after tomorrow, anything can happen.
After tomorrow. Oh, that's right. That's something we haven't talked about. You and I kind of briefly touched on this. Mara, down there in Ohio,
she's actually closer to it.
Are people flipping out because of the eclipse?
Well, I do know quite a bit of school districts have closed school because they don't want to be
responsible for kids going blind.
Yes, for kids looking at the eclipse. I'm like, why do you just not let them outside? I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyways, I think I heard on the radio that it's supposed to be about 75 to 80% covered here. The sun is so. Yeah. I know they say it's going to be a lot better, like down towards Cincinnati, Kentucky.
Yeah, Kentucky. It's going through Kentucky. Yeah, you're on the same side we are, and yeah,
Southern Illinois, Southern Indiana,
it's
Kentucky.
pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Everybody's losing their ever-loving minds.
But you know what? I got to hand it to some people. I was talking to Deb. She saw a report. People are making money, the farmers, by renting out space in their cornfields to these campers.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hotel rooms are going for $1,000 a pop. The little solar glasses. I've got mine here. Our station had them. They were giving some away. They're selling them on eBay. I heard for $20 a pair. $20 so you can sit there. I mean, get a welder's mask and stare at the sun if you want to put your eyes out.
That's what I kept saying. That's what my dad was like. Oh shoot, we didn't get glasses, and he's like, I'll just use a welder's mask.
Yeah, that's what I did the last time when we seen one. It worked just fine. But
now, okay, so Mara, it's supposed to happen between 1:30 and 3:30 tomorrow.
Yeah.
Are you going to be in class?
No, I'll be out of class, but I'll probably be at Sportsman's Alliance. So I'm sure if I'm there, we're all going to probably go outside.
Okay, because what I was wondering if you were going to be around your horse, because I would like to know.
Yeah.
Because they're saying that when this happens, that your pets, animals are going to act differently.
They're going to act like it's nighttime and ready to go to sleep.
Right. So I was just wondering if she's going to be close to her horse, if she could see in what the horse does. Because
I don't know, but the barn owner lives out there, so I'll have to ask her because she's all about it. I was out there today, and she was excited to watch the eclipse.
This is something I wondered about, and I want to put this out to anybody out there who's listening to the podcast or the live stream, is when you pull your trail cam cards, check for tomorrow's date and check between whatever local time that the eclipse is happening in your area. And I want to see if there's trail cam photos that are different in some way, I mean,
that's a good idea.
I mean, do you see animals? Are they out and they're grazing on the food plots, or I mean, what are they doing? I mean, do we see something that's crazy? So that's something I'm going to look for when I pull my camera.
Now you want me to I might have to put a camera up in the research area.
Okay. Yeah, you should. You should. Yesterday, we had some crazy weather here in Ohio. We had 3 different hailstorms within a couple hours where I live, and my dad said. He was out in the garage working on something, and the garage door was open. And he said about 3 or 4 minutes before the crazy hailstorm, and we had hail that was like ping pong size. Okay. Before that happened, a sparrow flew into our garage, and that has like never happened before. My dad said it was freaking out and it was seeking shelter. It landed on something, and then all of a sudden, Dad looked out 2 or 3 minutes later, and the hail started. So, however, this bird sensed it. I mean, it sensed it, and it was seeking the closest shelter. I mean, it flew right into the garage next to my dad. So animals can sense some crazy things.
They do. They pick up on that stuff.
No doubt about it. So it'll be interesting to see how animals are affected. I'm sure by the evening news, there'll probably be some reports from some zoos and stuff as to what happened.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I didn't think about that either.
So, yeah, I don't know. I thought about putting a GoPro out and seeing what I can see. I don't know. I'll definitely try to take some kind of picture with my stupid little glasses on, staring at the sun,
Take a selfie.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. But I do remember the last time that we had one. It wasn't a total eclipse, but I was looking through a welder's mask, and it physically it got dark.
Yes,
it didn't get completely dark, but you could definitely tell that it got dark. Everything got real dim, and the air temperature changed.
Yep, it's supposed to change by a few degrees, and also Deb, when that happened, noticed that the birds all started going into their evening mode.
Yeah.
And it was kind of
weird. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. That's coming tomorrow.
Yep.
So, anything else?
Nope.
All right. I got to give a quick shout out real quick. Tomorrow is my 24th wedding anniversary. My wife has been able to put up with me for 24 years without killing me.
Wow.
Well, early congrats.
Yeah. Hats off to my wonderful wife.
24 years?
24 years. Yep. So next year will be the big 25.
I actually got 2 years on you? Holy crap.
Yeah, you were young when you got married. You were just a kid.
If I make it to November, it'll be 26.
26 for you. Okay. What'd you do for your 25th? Go deer hunting?
Is Deb still watching? If she could chime in on this one. What did we do for our 25th? We spent it in the hospital.
Okay. All right. That's not good. Okay. Enough said. We'll leave it at that. You might be spending this one in the hospital.
No, it was her. It was
okay.
We had plans, but she ended up with a terrible nosebleed.
Oh,
terrible.
That's right.
And it was like, holy cow. So she ended up going to the doctor and...
Well, if everything goes well, next year we're going to do a tour of the Upper Peninsula.
Oh, that's awesome.
I want to go all the way up to Eagle Harbor, to the tip of the Keweenaw.
Copper Harbor.
Well, there's a little town there, Eagle Harbor.
Stay in Copper Harbor.
It's
still there.
There's a hotel there, and there's a room that you can actually watch the sunrise and sunset from.
Oh, okay.
You know, you can see both sides. So it's one of the few places where you can watch it across Lake Superior there. So
excellent.
Yeah, we're going to check that out.
Good deal.
Maybe do a little picture rocks, you know, Tequamanon. We've already been on the east side. We've never been to the west side.
Go to Porcupines?
Yeah, go up in that area. So we'll see what happens.
Absolutely.
So Mara, you got some catching up to do before you hit our age. In 25, 26 years. So.
I know.
Well, I'll tell you what, everybody. We're going to wrap up the show tonight. Mara, it's good having you on. I haven't heard from you in a little while. I'm glad you had a great summer. And Dan and I are going to try to hold the fort down here. We've got a big weekend coming up. Don't forget Bowfest. If you're in mid-Michigan, you're looking for some new hunting gear, get on over to Jim Beasley Spot Shooters.
Got some great sales. I think I posted the flyer on there, what sales he's got going on.
Yep.
Check it out. Come on over.
And the Fourth Arrow phone holder arm that they just come out with, you know, check that out as well over on fourtharrow.com. It's a great piece of gear. Can't wait to get this out in the field this year and check it out. So
Charles Byram says, congrats, Mr. and Mrs. Adams.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that from Iowa. And that's all I got this week.
That's it.
All right. Well, as we always say here at the Up North Journal, if you're on the water or in the woods, shoot straight and be safe. Until next week on the Up North Journal. This episode of the Up North Journal podcast was brought to you by PSE Archery,
Black Eagle Arrows,
Killer Food Plots,
Cabela's,
Spot Shooters,
Antler Action,
Family Traditions Tree Stands,
Tom's Custom Turkey Calls, and
Badass Slingshots.
Thanks for listening, and join us again here next week. Until then, remember, as we always like to say, if you're out on the water or in the woods, shoot straight and be safe. Until next week on the Up North Journal.